Hello and welcome back. In this video, we'll be looking at annual compounding interest. So, in the last lesson, we learned about simple interest, and simple interest is quite simple. You just earn the same amount of interest every year. So, if you invest some amount and you earn, let's say, $6 in interest that first year, you'll earn $6 in interest the next year, and you'll earn $6 in interest the next year, and you just always earn the same interest every year. But what quite often happens is we won't see simple interest, but we'll see compound interest. And compound interest is a little bit nicer. Every time you earn interest with compound interest, it gets added back to your initial investment. And then the next year, when they calculate interest, they're calculating the interest of your original stuff plus the extra interest. So you're earning interest on the interest you've earned. So you're going to earn more and more and more each year. So let's see how this works. We invest $1,000 into an account with an APR of 6%, and it's going to be compounded annually. Let's find the amount of money in the account each year. Well, in year 0, like when we first invest, we have $1,000 in our account. Okay, so we haven't earned any interest yet. So after 1 year, the amount in our account is going to be our initial investment plus a little bit of interest. So how much interest? Well, 6%. So let's take 1,000. And let's take 6% of it. So 6% is the same thing as 0.06. And when we do this calculation, it will be $60. So after year 1, we're going to have 1,000, our initial investment, plus some interest of $60, which will give us $1,060. So after 1 year, we've earned $60 of interest. Now, for year 2, what we'll do is we'll take how much money we have in our account at the end of year 1, and we're going to take 6% of that. And this is starting to get to calculations I can't quite do in my head. So let's go over to Desmos, and we'll take 1,060, and we're going to take it times 6%, so 0.06. And we get 63.6. So if we come back, we have 63.6. So what you'll notice is that we earned a little bit more interest in this next year because we have a little bit more money in our account. So at the end of year 2, we will have how much money is in our account plus our interest, which when we add this together, we'll get 1,123.60. So 0.6 is the same as 0.60. So we've got $1,123.60. So we earned a little bit more interest in that next year. So at the end of year 3, how much will we have? Well, we had $1,000 for our initial investment at the end of the first year, at the end of the second year. So for year 3, we're going to earn some interest on how much money we have in our account. This is the amount of money we have in our account, and we're earning 6% interest. And here, if we come back to Desmos, what I'll do is I'll take our 1,123.60. So this is how much money we have in our account, and we're going to take this times 6%, as in 0.06, and we've got 67.146. So 67.416, excuse me. And we'll take our money in our account. We will add our investment to it. And this is something that maybe I should just do in Desmos. So we've got our $1,123.60 plus our interest from last year, which was $67 and 41, a little bit more than 41 cents. If we hit enter, we have 1,191.016. Now, this would be $1,191.016, but so that's about 1 cent. But what we want to do is we'll usually round to the nearest cent. So that's 2 decimal places. So instead of 0.01, the 6 will round that up to 0.02. So that was 1191.02. So we can see that every year we're earning a little bit more interest. The first year we earned $60 in interest. The second year we earned $63. Next year $67. Let's do one more of these. For year 4, we look to see how much money we have in our account. And we're going to take it times our interest rate to figure out exactly how much money we're going to earn. So we'll take the money in our account times 0.06, and this is how much interest we will earn. So we're up to over $70 of interest. 71.46096, and then we will take how much money we have in our account, and we will add how much interest we've earned. And so that was 1.06 plus this guy, and that gives us 1,262.4, and we'll round it to 8. So 1,262.48. So we can see that our interest amount goes up every year because we're adding the interest back into our account, and we get to earn interest on everything in the account, including the interest we've already earned. Luckily, there's a formula for this, so we don't have to calculate the interest every year. And our formula is given right here. The amount of money in our account is going to be P, which is the initial amount that we invest, times 1 plus our interest rate. So interest rate, the APR is the annual percentage rate, and we're going to raise that to the number of years that we've invested. So let's do some more examples of this. So A is going to be P times 1 plus our APR raised to how many years we've invested. So we invest $3,000 into an account, an APR of 4%, compounded annually. How much is in the account after 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years? So again, our formula, the amount of money in our account is going to be our principal, which our principal is going to be $3,000 times 1 plus our APR, our interest rate, which in this case is going to be 4%, which we want to write that as a number, which is going to be 4 divided by 100, or 0.04. And we're going to raise that to how many years we're going to keep this in the account. 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years. So let's see. For 1 year, the amount of interest in our account is going to be $3,000 times 1 plus our APR, which is going to be 0.04. This is 4% written as a decimal, raised to 1 year. So let's plug this into Desmos. We have $3,000 times 1 plus 0.04, and all of this raised to the, so we take the a to the b, raised to the first power. So we have $3,120 in the account. Year 2 is going to be the same thing. It's the same formula, except we have it for 2 years instead of 1. So I'm just going to come back up here and change the 1 to a 2. And what we'll see is we now have a little bit more money, $3,244.80. $3,244.80. Let's do 10 years. So we have our $3,000 that we initially invested times 1 plus our interest rate, which is 4% or 0.04 as a decimal. Raise that to the 10th power because we've invested it for 10 years. So if we come back up here to our formula, I can replace the 2 with a 10, and we now have $4,000, $4,440, and it looks like 73 cents if we round it to the nearest cent. So we've got $4,440 with 73 cents. And then the last one that they asked us to do is to do this for 20 years. So again, we have the same formula, but we're going to raise it to the 20th power because there are 20 years that we've been investing this. So if we come back up here and change the 10 to a 20, we have $6,573.37 since we're going to round up. So $6,573.37. So this is just using our formula over and over again. Pretty straightforward when we have a calculator handy.